What's up, everyone? Matt here, and welcome to another episode of Down Once More. It is the first episode of March, and so it is the what's coming to streaming, what's coming to theaters, what you should be watching this month episode. If you are watching on YouTube, I want to apologize ahead of time. I had a weekend that you ever have one of those weekends where it just feels like life just kicks you right in the nether region. That was my weekend and my week so far. So I do not have as much time to turn this around and insert all the fun graphics I usually like to if you're watching on YouTube. So this is a plug. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube, go on there. So there's usually a few extra elements that make it pop a little bit more than audio versions. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything like that, thank you. Encourage you to subscribe, follow, rate 5 stars, all that fun stuff. Share it. I don't usually do plugs at the beginning, but that's what we're doing. It's March. The Oscars were this weekend, and I'm feeling like an old man. I did something that really just messed up my knee, and that thing I did was sit down after a conference meeting at work, and I am now in pretty severe pain through my knee. So that's great. But because I am stubborn and a man, I have not gone to the doctor. So that's where we are at. Oscars this past weekend. Zoe Saldana won Best Supporting Actress for Emilia Perez, which also won Best Original Song for El Mal. And we have not reviewed Emilia Perez on here. We will at some point. It was one of the most nominated movies in Oscars history. Only won 2 awards, big winners at the Oscars. The biggest one was Anora. Sean Baker, who's the director, has now made Oscar history. He was the first to personally win, so him, not a team. He won Best Picture, Best Editing, Best Director, and Best Screenplay, all for Anora. Meanwhile, Mikey Madison also came away with the win for Best Actress. And so, big time winner for Anora, which is coming to one of the streaming sites this month. So stay tuned for that. But Wicked, the John M. Chu directed musical starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, which is the movie adaptation of the first act of the Broadway musical, which is an adaptation of Gregory Maguire's novel. But it won Best Costume Design and Best Production Design. So no awards for the 2 leads, but did come away with a few Oscar wins regardless. And it's won some award at BAFTAs and other things alongside there. So that's also coming to a streaming service this month. So that will be coming up. But that's kind of the main Oscars roundup of the musical touching related categories. And the big kind of standouts there. Dune 2 came away with a couple of wins. Kieran Culkin got a win, so he's been on a great award circuit run so far, coming away with multiple wins, so good for him. I did not personally watch the Oscars. Conan O'Brien had a funny bit at the middle point of the show, kind of piling on Drake. That trend has been kind of entertaining, but let's get into what you're here for. What's coming to streaming, what to watch, what's coming to theaters. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to start with theaters this month. So on March 7th, Queen of the Ring comes out in a limited release. Queen of the Ring is directed by Ash Avildsen, who did American Satan, which I really enjoyed. Just kind of a dark musical band selling their soul to the devil to make it big. So I really enjoyed American Satan. We'll review it on the pod at some point. But it's directed by him. It stars Emily Bett Rickards, who you may be familiar with if you watched the show Arrow. She starred in that as Felicity. But she's portraying the real life, this is the true story of female pro wrestler Mildred Burke. So it's in a time when pro wrestling for women was illegal all over the United States. A small town single mother embraces the danger as she dominates America's most masculine sport and becomes the first $1 million female athlete in history. So a really cool true story. Emily Bett Rickards, great actress. The AEW wrestler Toni Storm also is featured in it. It looks really intriguing. It's unfortunately not playing anywhere near me as of now. I hope it does well, it meets success, and gets a wide release because it looks really good and it's getting good critical reviews from what I've been seeing. So also coming to theaters on March 7th is Mickey 17. This is a movie based on Edward Ashton's novel Mickey 7. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho, the Oscar winner for Parasite, which I loved Parasite personally. Robert Pattinson plays Mickey 17, who's known as an expendable in this world. He goes on a dangerous journey to colonize an ice planet. So looks interesting. I've been seeing mixed reviews from it, so we'll see. Judge it when you see it. On March 14th, Black Bag comes out. This stars Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett, and it's described as when intelligence agent Catherine Woodhouse is suspected of betraying the nation. Her husband, also a legendary agent, faces the ultimate test of whether to be loyal to his marriage or his country. I'm intrigued by this. I really love Michael Fassbender. He's been in some duds of movies lately, but he had a really good small role in Kneecap, which Brad and I reviewed and really enjoyed. I think he's fantastic as Magneto in the newer X-Men movies. Just a really great actor overall. We forgive him for how bad the Assassin's Creed movie was. And Cate Blanchett's always solid as well. So I'm intrigued by this movie. Don't know much about it, but sounds intriguing. Trailer looked intriguing. Looks promising. Also on March 14th, Novocaine comes out. This stars Jack Quaid, who I know most for his role in The Boys as Huey. But he plays a man who can't feel pain and he can be hurt, but he doesn't feel the pain. And so he goes to rescue his girlfriend when she's taken hostage, fighting through it. Just a little comedic action movie, a little bit different than where you see John Wick and movies like that, where you have the successful killer, or even the movie that bombed, Love Hurts with Ke Huy Quan, where it's just this unsuspecting person who has all these skills. He doesn't necessarily have skills, but he can take a shitload of damage and pain. I'm intrigued by it. On March 21st, the live-action Snow White movie comes out, starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the evil queen. I don't know how to feel about this. I think the music is going to be fantastic because Rachel Zegler has a fantastic voice. She's just fantastic as Maria in West Side Story. The songs that she has in The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, she does really well with those. But this movie just looks rough. The CGI dwarves look rough. There's a weird uncanny valley thing going on. I don't have very high hopes for this movie as a movie, but I think the music will be solid. And I think kids will like it. Like, I think adults, people who grew up on these movies, hold them near and dear to them, and that we can forget that ultimately this is a movie for children. Kind of on that note, I watched Mufasa recently, which we'll probably review at some point on here. The live action choice for those, I feel like makes it less of a kid's movie, because seeing actual lines in this, I think would be more scary for younger kids. But I digress. That's not what we're talking about. Also on the 21st, The Alto Knights comes out. I'm going to just read the synopsis for this because this is one that I wasn't very aware of. Watched the trailer and the premise, and I'm intrigued by it. So it's a biographical crime drama directed by Barry Levinson and written by Nicholas Pileggi. Don't know Nicholas Pileggi, Barry Levinson. I know the name. It stars Robert De Niro in a dual role. He plays Vito Genovese, the leader of the Genovese crime family, and Frank Costello, a crime boss of the Luciano crime family. The Alto Knights takes the audience to the 1950s when Genovese orders a hit on Costello, and though he survives, Costello is wounded, prompting him to decide to retire from the mafia, which isn't as easy to do. So, I love a good mafia movie, mafia storyline, usually pretty intriguing. Robert De Niro is a fantastic actor. Cautiously optimistic about this film. It sounds intriguing. And then on March 28th, A Working Man comes out. This is an action thriller directed by David Ayer and co-written by him and Sylvester Stallone. It is based on Chuck Dixon's 2014 novel, Levon's Trade. So it follows Levon Cade, played by Jason Statham, of course, an ex-Royal Marine commando now living as a construction worker. When his boss's teenage daughter is taken by human traffickers, he goes back to his old set of skills to find her, while he also uncovers a web of corruption that extends into the government. Typical quintessential Jason Statham sounding movie right here. I am signing up for Jason Statham action movies all day. This is like a mix of Taken and all sorts of things. I'll be there. I'm going to be seeing this movie. Maybe not in theaters, but I will be seeing this movie. So that's the highlights of what kind of stood out to me, what's coming to theaters this month. We're going to start out what's coming to streaming with Max, HBO. So right now, The White Lotus has been airing. I'm behind. I haven't been able to get caught up on it. In April, we'll have Last of Us Season 2 premiering. There's a plug if you haven't been checking it out. I did weekly recaps after the episode aired, giving my initial thoughts, gut reaction to The Last of Us Season 1 episodes. Those I edited, published on YouTube that night. It just lived on YouTube. I'm now weekly re-releasing those on audio platforms, so if you're not a YouTube person, you don't want to go there, you just want to throw your earbuds in, watch it, great. It's now, I think, episode 4. Just released this past weekend, so this weekend episode 5 will be coming out, the re-release of that. So check that out if you're doing a rewatch of The Last of Us. But what's coming new to Max this month, the first thing that I've noted that I'm really excited about is Heretic on March 7th. This is a psychological kind of horror thriller with Hugh Grant, and it also stars Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets. Big Yellow Jackets fan here this season so far. I'm not quite sure about, but Sophie Thatcher, fantastic actress in it. And she's reportedly very good in Companion with Jack Quaid that was in theaters recently. So this movie is about two women who kind of find themselves in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they knock on this man, Hugh Grant's door. And they're forced into kind of a game and their faith is tested. So this movie looks sinister. It looks, I don't know, it has potential to be kind of, it looks like it's maybe trying to be a little, thinks it's smarter than it may be with all the testing your faith and all those, religious kind of spirituality debates. And so I don't know, but I am really excited to watch this. I've been wanting to check it out since it got out of theaters. I missed it in theaters, but that premieres on Max March 7th. On March 9th, the final season of The Righteous Gemstones premieres. Danny McBride, Adam Devine, I love this show. It's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. It's a little over the top, but that's how pretty much any Danny McBride thing is. Walton Goggins is in it and fantastic. I'm a big Walton Goggins fan. He's also in this season of White Lotus. Fantastic. I'm really excited for the show to premiere. Bummed it's ending, but I'm glad it seems like they know the story they want to tell and they're ending it before it drags on too long. I'm a big fan of that, and creators knowing, hey, just because it's successful, getting good ratings, we don't need to go 12 seasons. So excited about that. On March 13th, The Parenting comes out. This is a Max original movie. It's a horror comedy, but it has like Lisa Kudrow, Dean Norris, Edie Falco, Brian Cox. It's got a solid cast, and it looks intriguing. It could be extremely cheesy and corny, and may lean too much into the comedy, almost satire vein. Like definitely not scary movie level, but I don't know. Finding horror comedies is a delicate balance, and I think it's hard to do right. And so I'm intrigued by this. It looks interesting. It's coming to Max. I'll be checking it out. I'm really excited on March 21st that Sing Sing comes out. It stars Coleman Domingo. It was nominated for a number of awards. Didn't win at the Oscars. But it's the true story of Divine G, who is a man who was imprisoned at Sing Sing for a crime he didn't commit. He finds purpose by acting in a theater group alongside other incarcerated men. And they say it's a story of resilience, humanity, and the transformative power of art. This is a podcast primarily about musicals. We love the transformative power of art. I'm all about that theater life. This movie, from what I've heard, it hits you right in the feels. I'm really excited to be able to watch this finally and experience it. And then on March 28th, another A24 movie that had a limited, not super successful run in the awards circuit is Queer. Daniel Craig stars in it. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino, who did Challengers, which I really enjoyed. A great erotic tennis movie in the vein of erotic tennis movies. Call Me By Your Name was his big one that kind of brought his name to the forefront. But the synopsis is that in 1950s Mexico City, an American immigrant in his late 40s leads a solitary life amidst a small American community. However, the arrival of a young student stirs the man into finally establishing a meaningful connection with someone. So this is one, it doesn't have a great Rotten Tomatoes score, great IMDb score, but I typically really enjoy A24 movies and what they do, giving like kind of a smaller, kind of independent vein, things that may not be commercial blockbusters, a chance for these directors to tell their story and do this vision. And Luca Guadagnino is a very unique director, has his own style. Challengers has like the score from, I think it's from Trent Reznor, I want to say. I may be completely wrong, so don't hate me for that. In Challengers is fantastic, and that movie, I feel like for what it's about, it tells the story and captures this tension and these relationships and dynamics so well. Like, I really love Challengers. It was one of my favorite movies of 2024. So that comes out, and that concludes what's coming to Max in March. I'm going to do a few things on Disney Plus because there is two big things to highlight, and that is on March 4th, Daredevil Born Again premieres. This is the kind of revival of the Netflix Daredevil series with Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Woll, Vincent D'Onofrio, and it's kind of the revival of them. We've seen Daredevil pop up in She-Hulk. Vincent D'Onofrio's been in Echo and also in Hawkeye as Kingpin. And so this kind of revival on Disney Plus, it's rated mature, so they're keeping that gritty vibe of the Netflix series. One of the first like more commercially successful Marvel series, like the Netflix one. Daredevil's the one that kicked it off, that whole universe with the Defenders on Netflix, to varying degrees of success. But Daredevil Born Again looks like it's another ground level, grounded, gritty action crime drama. So really excited that that's premiering. I'm starting a rewatch of Daredevil because I don't think I ever watched season 3 because I got so behind. I was trying to watch everything in order. And with the second season of Luke Cage and then Iron Fist and then the second season of Jessica Jones, I kind of fell behind. So I'm trying to get caught up now before I jump into Daredevil Born Again. But I'm really excited that it's happening and that's coming out. On March 12th, Moana 2 premieres on Disney Plus. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I really like the original. How Far I'll Go is fantastic. Shiny is also a lot of fun. I can take or leave The Rock singing, I'm going to be honest with that. But Moana 2 coming to Disney Plus on March 12th. On March 24th, David Blaine Do Not Attempt comes out, which I'm intrigued by. I'm not a huge David Blaine fan, but it's always kind of intrigued me. So there's a 6-part documentary exploring the world through the lens of magic is how it's described. So I'll probably check out at least an episode of this when I have time. I say that, but I have so many things that I'm actually like invested in, but I'm so far behind. So we'll see. Let's jump over to Netflix. That was it for Disney Plus. Few things. On Netflix on March 1st, Annie, the 2014 version with Jamie Foxx, that comes out of the musical, which I will be seeing later this month and reviewing on the pod. Also, Sicario comes out, which I love Sicario, very good movie, action, kind of about the cartel and everything there. And then Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers, just a good old-fashioned comedy from the 2000s. Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, a lot of fun. Those premiere on Netflix on March 1st. On March 4th, With Love, Meghan premieres. So that's Meghan Markle's kind of lifestyle series. And also Andrew Schultz's new comedy special, Life, premieres. And Andrew Schultz, hit or miss for me. Most comedy specials are hit or miss for me. I have to be in the right mood for them. There's going to be things that land, things that don't. But I always like throwing on a good comedy special. So I'll be checking that out. On March 12th, Netflix's revival of Temptation Island premieres. This is where you have 4 couples going on an island, and then you have a bunch of attractive singles there, and it's basically, will they cheat? So wild. There's been some viral clips from the, I think it's in Mexico, with the Spanish version of this, with Montoya. If you're chronically online, you know about Montoya, por favor, which turned into a meme coin. But this looks like it's going to be off the rails. It's going to be crazy. I watched Love is Blind for the first time this season, and some moments were good, but it hasn't really scratched that reality TV show itch. So until Love Island comes back, and I am dedicated, I will be watching this season of Love Island USA. Temptation Island, we're going to give it a shot and see how it is. But again, this and like Love is Blind, having almost a year to edit it and pull things together, things lose its spark for me. I'm disappointed. Love Island, you get the episode and you get to see what happened 2 days before. You get to vote live. It's fantastic. Love Island's the best. It's the best. But back to Netflix. On March 13th, Kraven the Hunter comes out. Starred Aaron Taylor Johnson as the Spider-Man villain, Kraven the Hunter, because apparently Sony thinks they need to make every villain kind of an anti-hero. And just Aaron Taylor Johnson, so much promise. I actually really like this casting and him in this role. Russell Crowe is in this in a medium-sized role. I'm glad this is what actually killed the Sony Spider-Man universe, pretty much. It's done. The movie bombed. It got horrible reviews. It's got some truly awful CGI in it, some truly awful choices, in my opinion. But I want to see more of Aaron Taylor Johnson as this character. Ariana DeBose is in this, and she's been just on a stinker streak lately. And there is one scene that's so bad that looks like they just took a still image of her and then CGI'd her mouth moving. Because every other time she's talking, she's like moving around. She's standing like this. There's an occasional blink and her mouth moves. And so but her chin doesn't move, just her mouth. And it's creepy looking. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's odd. On March 14th, Electric State premieres. This is the movie directed by the Russo brothers, who did Captain America, Winter Soldier, Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, some of the highest rated Captain America Civil War, highest rated Marvel movies out there. But they've been on a run of some mediocre stuff lately. But this stars Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. It's a sci-fi movie based on the graphic novel all by the same name by Simon Stålenhag. So it is about a girl traveling the American West with a robot and a drifter. Chris Pratt is the drifter. Spoiler alert. But the girl's in search of her brother. So it takes place in a reimagined 1997. A lot of people are locked in with their VR headsets. Kind of reminded me a little bit of almost Ready Player One. That part of it where people that's how they get away. I don't know. I didn't read the graphic novel. I'm not intrigued by this. It doesn't look great to me. It'll be okay. It's on Netflix. I'll check it out. The Russo brothers are great directors. They're going back to Marvel for Avengers Doomsday and everything with that. But I don't know. This movie I'm not sold on yet, but I'll check it out when it comes out. On March 18th, another comedy special. Bert Kreischer, Lucky. His new special is coming to Netflix. And then on March 20th, a couple things coming out. First is Den of Thieves 2, Pantera Era. I got this on digital when it first came out on digital because I was so excited to watch it, but then I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've had other things going on. And so now I'm glad I bought it on digital because it's coming to Netflix at the end of the month. So I need to watch it by then just so I feel like I didn't completely waste my money. So that's coming out. Gerard Butler, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Really loved the first Den of Thieves movie. Really excited to watch the second one, even though it doesn't seem like it since I've had it for like a month and I haven't watched it. But a new Netflix original miniseries, The Residence, comes out. It's set in the White House, and Uzo Aduba, who you may recognize if you watched Orange is the New Black, she plays the best detective there is. So we got lots of best detectives there is on Netflix, because that's what Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig's character in the Knives Out series, is supposed to be as well. But this character, the tagline is 132 rooms, 157 suspects, one dead body. It looks good. It looks intriguing. As popular as the murder mysteries are, I am starting to grow a little bit tired of them. Especially the ones that think they're extremely clever and tongue-in-cheek. If it's done well, we'll see. Like, I really did enjoy the After Party on Apple TV Plus. I enjoy the Knives Out. Well, Knives Out and Glass Onion are the two that are out so far. The third one's been announced. I'm blanking on the name. But I enjoy those movies, but sometimes they can just be a lot. And when you just get more of the same and they start to feel a lot like the previous one, I hope it stays original. Putting it in the White House is an interesting twist, but we'll see. And that does it for Netflix for this month. Coming to Amazon Prime Video on March 1st, so already out by the time this comes out, the Back to the Future trilogy is out, as well as the RoboCop trilogy, along with the 2014 remake, and then Raging Bull. So some good classics coming out to Netflix already, not Netflix, to Amazon Prime, already out now. On March 11th, Eliza Schlesinger's new comedy special called A Different Animal comes out. So it's the month of comedy specials, surprisingly. On March 13th, season 3 of The Wheel of Time premieres, the kind of fantasy series based on Robert Jordan's book series. I haven't checked this out. I never read the books. I've seen mixed reviews on the series. Eventually, I'll probably get around to it. There's just so many things out there. Hasn't made the cut. But if you're a fan of it, season 3 premieres on March 13th. And then on March 27th, Bosch Legacy Season 3, so the final season, premieres. Titus Welliver stars as a former LAPD detective, so this was a revival of this series as well. And then an Amazon Prime original movie, Holland, comes out on the 27th. This stars Nicole Kidman, and the kind of synopsis of that is a woman's picture-perfect life in quaint Holland, Michigan crumbles when she and a friend uncover a twisted secret in their midst. So a little bit of a psychological thriller we got going on here. Nicole Kidman's been on a run recently, so I'm excited to check this one out. And guess what? That does it for what's coming to Amazon Prime that stood out to me this month. Let's jump to Apple TV Plus. There's been a few things there recently. We got the new season of Severance still running now. On March 14th, a new series, Dope Thief, premieres. This is described as a moody crime drama based on Dennis Tafoya's novel. It stars Brian Tyree Henry, where he's robbing small-time Philly drug dealers, him and his partner, by pretending to be DEA agents. And then they end up found out. It sounds like they're on the run from actual cops. Seems intriguing. I really like Brian Tyree Henry. I'm excited for this series. Apple TV Plus doesn't put out garbage. Like, they usually have a solid product that they're putting out. It's going to be well done. It's going to be well written, well acted. So I'm excited. On March 26th, The Studio, the series premiere of The Studio, comes out. This comes from Seth Rogen, and it stars Seth Rogen, where he plays a new studio head who is balancing his desires to make genuinely good movies while also appeasing corporations and his boss, who's played by Bryan Cranston. Catherine Hahn also is a co-star in it as kind of the marketing head person at the studio, and it has multiple celebrities playing themselves. So a slightly not as over the top version in a way of HBO Max's The Franchise series, which is about the kind of big blockbuster action franchise, sci-fi franchises, kind of poking at the Marvel movies a little bit, which was canceled, which I was going to say it was getting good reviews, but I never watched it. So I'm probably part of the reason it was canceled. Wasn't getting what they needed out of it. But I like Seth Rogen in this role. Him and I think it's Evan Goldberg have been kind of the writing and producing partners on a lot of things like The Boys. So they've been putting out some good stuff. I'm excited what they'll do in the Apple brand with this. Bryan Cranston and Catherine Hahn are always fantastic. So I'm excited about this series. And then Side Quest premieres as a spinoff of the Mythic Quest show, which I really enjoy. Following those kind of affected by the game. So players, kind of smaller bit characters, it looks like. I'm intrigued. Not much has been revealed about this except that premieres March 26th. So that does it for Apple TV Plus. The main things that stood out to me. Now let's jump to Hulu. March 1st. So out now, the Alien movie series has come out there. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Covenant, Prometheus. Those are all out there. With the exception of the newest one, Alien Isolation, which may actually already be out. No, it's not Alien Isolation. It's Alien Romulus. It's Alien Isolation. The video game? Pfft, don't listen to me. Bohemian Rhapsody came out March 1st. Jojo Rabbit, the Taika Waititi movie about this kid who's in the Hitler Youth, which is a dark comedy in a weird way. And Taika Waititi plays this kid's imaginary friend who is Hitler. So it sounds way darker, worded like that. The Predator movie series comes out. Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator. Oh, really original naming convention. But one of my favorite in the Predator series is Prey, which is getting a sequel at some point this year. It was announced, and it sounds like there's 2 different kind of sequels, follow-ups to Prey. And so Prey was fantastic. If you haven't checked it out, you need to. Later on this year, Alien Earth's coming out to Hulu, so I'm excited about that as well. I really enjoy the Alien and Predator series for what they are. On March 6th, the Hulu original series, Deli Boys, comes out. So it's a crime comedy following 2 sons who expect to inherit their father's convenience store and kind of his fortune after he dies, only for everything to be seized by the FBI and them discover that their father was heavily connected to organized crime. So they try to make the most of the convenience store they have left and kind of pick up the pieces of their life. Comedy, looks intriguing. Be checking that out. On March 14th, another comedy special, Bill Burr Drop Dead Years, comes out. So Bill Burr, one of the greats to do it. His new special coming to Hulu. Also on the 14th, a couple older movies, The Prestige, which may be my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, and then Fight Club. And we don't talk about Fight Club, so that's that for that. On March 17th, Anora comes to Hulu. So I mentioned this, it won 5 awards at the Oscars. So it is premiering on streaming. It is, like I said, it's directed, written, edited by Sean Baker. It stars Mikey Madison as an escort that impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch and deals with his family finding out and coming there. I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to watch this movie. By all accounts, it's fantastic. Hell, it won Best Picture. So, which may not say much, but usually if you can appreciate it for what it is, the Best Picture winner is usually at least a good time, even if it may not be your cup of tea. On March 19th, a new series, Good American Family, premieres. It stars Mark Duplass and Ellen Pompeo. It's a Midwestern couple who adopts a child they believe has dwarfism, and then they question if there's something a little more sinister, if it's actually a child with dwarfism. There's a lot of urban legends, some potential true stories about this. There's a horror movie about this, The Orphan. And so I'll be interested in seeing what this adaptation is like. I like Mark Duplass. Ellen Pompeo is also a great actress. So I'll be interested to check this out. On March 20th, Odessa comes out. This is a Hulu original. It comes from Searchlight Pictures. It stars Sadie Sink from Stranger Things and Kelvin Harrison Jr. of Chevalier, Cyrano, Mufasa as Taka, aka Scar. But this is a original musical. It is sci-fi set in kind of just, I don't know if dystopian's the right word, but kind of post-apocalyptic. I don't know how to describe it. It looks trippy. It looks sci-fi. It's got 16 original songs. It's described as an epic rock opera. I'm intrigued by this. I will be checking it out. We will be reviewing it on the pod at some point. On March 28th, Mid-Century Modern comes out. It's the series premiere of it. Not much has been revealed. Like, there's not actually a full teaser or trailer for this. It's said to be loosely inspired on the Golden Girls, and the official synopsis is described as 3 best friends, gay men of a certain age, decide to retire together to Palm Springs after an accidental death. It stars Matt Bomer of White Collar and Magic Mike fame. I'm a big Matt Bomer fan. Fantastic actor. Really like White Collar. He's fantastic as Neil Caffrey. I would not consider him a man of a certain age. Nathan Lane is in this as well. I'm intrigued by this. I'll be checking this out. I like both those actors. It seems like an interesting sitcom premise, so we'll see what that's like. Okay, I've got 2 more streaming services we're going to cover. Peacock. We're going to cover Peacock this month. A decent amount coming there. On March 1st, 300, The Big Lebowski, Den of Thieves, Gamer, In Bruges, A Knight's Tale, and the Leprechaun movie series come out. So those are out now. You can go watch those now. I have a soft spot for Leprechaun 5 in the Hood. I discovered this movie and watched it because How Did This Get Made with Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael, Jason Mantzoukas reviewed this, and they had Kumail Nanjiani on the episode that they did, if I'm not mistaken, and just hearing them talk about this made me go watch the movie and then listen to the episode again. It's fantastic. I've not watched a single other Leprechaun movie, but this movie is so wild, over the top. Recommend you check it out. Recommend you listen to How Did This Get Made's episode on it. It's an interesting one. On March 2nd, Jurassic World Dominion comes out. I have fallen off from the Jurassic World series. I started liking them. I don't think I've watched the last 2 movies, so we'll see. On March 10th, Wicked, The Real Story comes out. This is a documentary on the stage show and the novel a little bit. So I'm excited to see this a little more behind the scenes. I've done some research. I know a little bit, nowhere near a super fan levels. And so I'm intrigued to see this documentary and see more about it. On March 12th, Plane comes out. And that's the name, just Plane. It's an action movie starring Gerard Butler and Mike Colter. It's like a good, straightforward action movie. Not really any bells, any whistles. It's interesting. Check it out if you want to see some good action. I love a good Gerard Butler action movie. He's similar to Jason Statham. So like I mentioned, a couple other Gerard Butler movies, 300 and Gamer and Den of Thieves, are coming to Peacock. So it's a Gerard Butler month on Peacock. So always a good time. On March 13th, a new original series, Long Bright River, comes out. This is based on Liz Moore's best-selling novel. Amanda Seyfried plays a beat cop in Philly who takes an interest in drug-addicted women working the streets, knowing that her sister is one of them. So she's kind of taking an interest in there. Interesting crime drama, different take. I know nothing about the novel. I know very little about the series, but I like seeing more original things come out there, and I like seeing adaptations of books, especially when they're adapted as a series instead of a movie. On March 19th, The Invisible Man comes out. It was like a modern adaptation of the old classic story, a new spin on it by Lee Wannell. He directed and wrote it, and Elizabeth Moss stars in this. Lee Wannell tried to do the same thing with Wolfman. That has been pretty well panned, but The Invisible Man I really enjoyed. I thought it was fantastic. I need to rewatch it again. I'm excited that it's coming to Peacock. On March 21st, Wicked premieres on Peacock. So the other Oscar winner coming to Peacock, Best Costume Design, Best Production Design. The sing-along version is going to be on Peacock as well. So we're going to enjoy it from the comfort of your home now, not having to do it in the theaters. So that closes out what's coming to Peacock. So now you can watch Wicked and then go watch our review. And I haven't had a chance to watch it because it's over an hour long, but Hannah Bales, one of my favorite YouTubers. I love her reviews, a voice coach. A lot of fun. She reviewed Wicked. I still need to check that out. But watch the movie, watch Rayleigh and I's review, and then watch Hannah Bales' review. So you're not let down by ours initially. You think ours is great, and then you watch hers, and you're like, the fuck were those people doing? Closing it out, we got Paramount Plus. And there's a few things coming to Paramount Plus. One that's out now, it came out March 1st, is Strange Darling. This movie, I mentioned it briefly on here before, I think, when I watched it. I said the less you know about it going into it, the better. It stars Willa Fitzgerald. I can't say more without giving away, but you need to check it out. It's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Another one of my favorites of 2024. Do it. On March 20th, a new series comes out called Happy Face. Dennis Quaid stars as Keith Hunter Jesperson, who's the real-life serial killer known as the Happy Face Killer. This is an adaptation of the podcast Happy Face and the book Shattered Silence. So it tells the story of the serial killer from the perspective of his daughter, Melissa, who is played by Annalee Ashford, one of the originals in, was it Heathers with Jeremy Jordan, who sang the song. Now I'm going to go back on myself because I was talking about it. I'm like, I know there was something she was paired up with Jeremy Jordan, but she was in the revival of Sweeney Todd with Josh Groban. Great actress, great musical person. I'm trying to find the musical connection. So there, which I butchered it. That basically do research, and I did some research. I have all these notes, but I didn't think to double check what she was in. But I'm 99% sure it was an early preview of Heathers. So on March 30th, Mobland comes out. It's the series premiere. It has Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren. It is a gangster series from Guy Ritchie. You don't need to know much more than that. Guy Ritchie puts out some great stuff. He's a big Jason Statham guy too. Surprised Jason Statham isn't in this. But I'm excited for this series. I like Tom Hardy. I like Pierce Brosnan. I like Helen Mirren. What's not to love? And then the biggest thing on Paramount Plus that's coming out this month, supposedly, doesn't have a date yet. Just that's coming this month. And that is Better Man. That's right. I am talking about the Robbie Williams biopic with the Robbie Williams chimpanzee. One of my favorites. I love it. More people need to watch this. You all need to love it. I'm still working on a few things for the review of that, so stay tuned. On that note, on my pick of a song of the episode, a playlist song for you, is Angels by Robbie Williams. Again, like Come Undone, the version from the soundtrack of Better Man. Not the original one, although the original one's beautiful too. But I really like the arrangement on the soundtrack from the movie. So, that's it. That is 40 minutes worth of shit for you to watch on streaming or in theaters this month. Next week, I will be reviewing Beetlejuice the musical. I'm seeing that the day after this comes out. So I'll be doing a review of that on next week's episode of the pod. And then after that, I guess you'll just need to stay tuned. But thank you for watching, listening, however you found us. Happy you're here. Tell your friends, tell your family if they're not judgmental, if they're cool. Tell your friends if they're cool too. I guess if you have shitty, lame friends, you don't need to tell them about it. But subscribers are subscribers. We're 3 subscribers on YouTube away from the goal that I've been trying to reach for 2.5 years. So if you can get us to 100 subscribers on YouTube, kudos to you. eventually things coming up on the pod that I want to do. We're going to review that Odessa movie. We're going to talk the Warriors concept album from Lin-Manuel Miranda and Issa Davis. We're going to be talking lots of fun stuff. And like I said, next month, whole new ball game. Last of Us reviews, breakdowns are going to be coming back. All sorts of fun stuff. So stay tuned. Thank you all. Have a great month. Watch some fun shit. Tell us in the comments of these if you watch these, you enjoy it. Say what you're most excited to watch, or if you've already watched stuff and checked it out, what your favorite thing you watched this month was, or what you're looking forward to seeing next month. Give us things, comments, show some love. Engagement does help people like me. Negative engagement makes me spiral. So if you could avoid that. But Brad, so kindly, before he started being a pretentious douche, was asking about positive comments in the comments of our last video, and nothing from you guys. So if you made it this far, appreciate you. You're a real one. Comment, like, share. On audio platforms, we have a fun thing that you can send us texts from there. The perks of a Buzzsprout thing. So shoot us texts. Maybe we'll read them on here if they're not bad and they don't make us sad. So thank you all. Love you. Like, comments, follow, subscribe, share. All that fun stuff. Stay safe, stay sweet, and don't forget to go down once more. Later.